Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Our gang members this evening, Tom Dreesen, critically acclaimed stand-up comedian, also world-renowned. He has made over 500 appearances on national television as a stand-up comedian, including 61 appearances on The Tonight Show. He's a favorite guest of David Letterman and has hosted the show during David's absence. And for 14 years, he toured the nation as the opening act for Frank Sinatra. Dwight Schultz. He is Murdock, or was Murdock, on NBC's The A-Team. He has also portrayed Barclay on the syndicated hit Star Trek Next Generation. He has recently filled in for political talk show hosts Michael Savage, Rusty Humphries, and Jerry Doyle on the TRN radio network. And last but not least, Sonja Schmidt, playwright, author, conservative political pundit, and Denver beauty queen in 1996. Watts beauty queen in 1996. Glazov gang members, welcome to the Glazov gang.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sonja's a gang member, but Tom and Dwight are new. Sonja, tell them the rule about being in the Glazov gang.
You can get jumped in by me.
No. You can check out anytime you like, but...
You can't check out.
No, you can never leave.
Why do you put this pressure on me?
Yeah.
Hotel.
But at least you know the difference between Watts and Denver.
I do. It's a big difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, incredible careers. Am I correct in assuming that the Glazov gang is the pinnacle of each of your careers?
It's all downhill from here for me.
How did this happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trayvon Martin saga. Shelby Steele, fascinating article the other day in Wall Street Journal. Now, he talked about how with Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and these race hustlers, we see this perverse longing for a racist past in the sense that they're trying to make a movement out of this thing when in fact the real threat, if anything, to young black youths is other black youths. There's not this epidemic of white people attacking black people in our society. I'm just fertilizing the ground for our discussion here in terms of that topic. Tom, how did you see this whole thing and how do you see it playing out?
It's just immediate crazed tragedy, what they've done with this case and politicized it. And the one who politicized the most is President Obama. If I'm the defense for this guy Zimmerman, by the way, my heart aches for the little boy, the young boy who was killed. My heart aches for him and for his family. But if I'm the defense attorney for Zimmerman, first thing I'm going to do is to ask all the jurors, are you a Democrat? Did you vote for Barack Obama? Because I'm going to have to disqualify you. Because when the number one lawmaker in the land said, if I had a son, it would look just like that, he tainted that jury. He tainted the whole system.
Tom, why is he jumping in so selectively to these different circumstances?
You know, the argument would be he's compassionate, but he's the president of the United States. If he's really compassionate, black-on-black crime is 9 times higher than white-on-black crime. And that's the issue he should be discussing.
Does this show a desperation on his part, maybe trying to galvanize the black community? Doesn't he already have their support?
That'd be my argument as well. He's already got their support, and he's going to have their support in the next election as well. But I, in my opinion, it's just purely politics. To play politics with this young guy's life and to find a man guilty before he's even been tried. Prosecution needs time. They need time. Just because you don't arrest a guy the day the crime is committed, that's fine. Because, and I'll quick it out, list. Michael Jackson's alleged murderer, Dr. Murray, 7 months before he was locked up, and he's found they had the case bundled up when they brought him in.
Imagine if he had been white. Now that's an interesting question. Michael Jackson's doctor, right?
Right.
Dwight, how do you see this whole thing?
Well, I think I'm biased here because I think the president is a provocateur. I think you saw it with the Supreme Court. I think you saw it with the Gates situation. And he has allies. This is a tragic situation with MSNBC, the doctored tape, which there is no excuse for it, where they had Zimmerman saying, oh, he's black, when really he was asked if he was white, Hispanic, or black. And every person that I have talked to who has said, we've got to get Zimmerman, right? They all have said the same thing to me, and that is that he should never have followed Martin. He should never have followed him.
We don't even know if he did follow him.
He didn't.
Yeah.
When the dispatcher was saying, are you following him? He says, yes. He said, we don't need you to do that. He says, okay. And then he stays and he talks to the dispatcher. And he is interested in getting the police there. He's giving them direction. He's telling them where his apartment is. MSNBC has Al Sharpton right there. Al Sharpton was right down there. They're working hand in hand here. It's a terrible thing when the media is seen, and it's going to happen. They're seen to be working with the president, with the Democratic Party, creating issues to rile the base.
I think that if Fox News cut something like that for its own agenda, this would be a national scandal, but the MSNBC gets away with it. Sonja, what do you think about what the two wise men have said so far?
And they are very wise. I agree with them in that this is a very tragic situation, but I think there's a lot of tragedy here. One of the things that Tom mentioned is this fomenting of this anger in the black community. I think that's one point, but another point is to maintain his base. If Obama came out and said anything but what he said, he would maybe stand the chance of losing some of this, 95, 97% of the black vote. So secondly, I think it's all Obama knows. It's very similar to the Louis Gates situation, where that's a knee-jerk reaction for Obama, is to blame the white guy, blame the authority. Mm-hmm. And the scary thing about this for me is that it really reduces and it diminishes what racism really is. There's more and more evidence coming out every day that shows that Zimmerman is more than likely was not motivated by being a racist. But nobody's going to accept that. The narrative is you must be white in order to be racist. Just today, we were talking about Marion Barry said something that's very racist. But no one will come out and speak against that because the narrative, again, is that black people can't be racist. So that's a very scary thing because racism does exist. It is something that we have to deal with, but we can't deal with it honestly if we're calling everything under the sun racist and we're indicting people who may not be racist.
It's a great argument on the left. The left has always had this wonderful argument. If you disagree, you're racist. I, as you know, I was a member of a black-white comedy team 6 years. Tim Reed and I were America's first black and white comedy and the last. So the minority always had, whenever the joke always had to be on the majority, always. And we learned that very early. You know, the other thing that I wanted to say about this is that whenever Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson get involved in something, just once, I would like to see where a white kid was injured, damaged, and they come to say, this is an injustice in our society, and we're going to stand up for this as well. It never is that way. It's always a political move. It's always a...
I would like to see them get it right once. I mean, they're always on the side of the wrong situation. People have been hurt and people have been killed behind what Al Sharpton has said. You know.
And we've also done one other thing, which is inimical with the left. We've created a new word, white Hispanic.
What is that? Never heard this before.
That was on NBC.
What is this longing to put racism where it isn't? What do you think this longing for it?
I meant to say this.
Is it a hatred of America?
Conservatives have a tendency to deal intellectually. They want to debate. They want to debate you on facts and the issues. The left always has emotion. So if you're winning the argument, they'll say, you're a racist. I don't have a defense for that. Because the defense is something stupid like saying, some of my best friends are black, and of course there you go to indict yourself that now you are definitely a racist. But what if some of your best friends are black? No, you say. So the point is that if we throw the word racist, we end the discussion. Discussion's over. We can't debate that. We can't defend that.
You know, just recently there's an individual, African-American 19-year-old Joshua Brown, who shot and killed a 12-year-old African-American girl, Kadesha Davis, 6th grade honor student in Detroit. Nobody knows that name. Mm-hmm. Black on black violence. If it's allegedly white on black violence, then it's in the media. This is quite a phenomenon. Why do black lives don't count if they're killed by other blacks?
What you looking at me for?
Well, no, I'm
But the same thing is happening.
you were going to talk.
How about the media in Africa, for instance, right? If it was the apartheid regime, but if it was happening in the rest of Africa, the media wasn't interested.
They can't use it against Republicans. They can't. This is so horrible because when you have an Al Sharpton, why he is on MSNBC, I mean, after his history. I mean, he's a street thug. That's what he is. Now he's on MSNBC, and now he's suddenly down there hawking this story for a network. I mean, he's got a network behind him.
When I
this is
started
incomprehensible.
we were America's first black and white comedy. A wise old black man in my neighborhood said, "That's a great." He was in show business. He said, "That's a great idea, but you know they're going to try to divide you." And so, you know, I said, "Who's they?" He said, "Anybody. Whenever they see a white and a black trying to get along and getting along, they're going to divide you because it's called divide and conquer. And as long as you can keep us divided, as long as you can keep." And I think Barack Obama, I'm ashamed to say this, I thought when he got elected, he wasn't my choice, but I thought, wow, this is great. Because you know why? I had a good black friend that used to say to me, "Tommy, I love America as much as you do, but tell the truth. Could my son grow up to become president of the United States?" And his name was Theophilus. I'd say, "You know, you're right, Theophilus. I guess you're right." But when Barack got elected, I said, wow, now I could look at my friend and say, yes, he can in America. That's how great America is. But he's done more to divide us, the racists, than any president I've ever known.
Okay, we got to go. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, there's also a thing about airing our own dirty laundry. And if we have to look on black crime, then we have to look at ourselves and see how we failed our families, our communities, and so forth, in our country. And it's a lot easier to point the finger at the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the first segment. I did not tell you, but one of the reasons I appoint and invite you to be gang members is I sense from each of you psychic clairvoyant abilities. How is the Trayvon Martin case very quickly going to play out, Tom?
I think that they're going to they're going to arrest him down the line, and I think that they're going to play out. It's going to become, I think, in the long run, they don't have enough evidence. The prosecution, if they had evidence, they'd have got him right now. They don't have enough evidence.
Rodney King-style riots afterwards if he gets acquitted?
Possibly.
Right?
I think that there's going to be some instructed violence. I think it's going to be drummed up.
With Al Sharpton screaming on the sidelines?
I think so.
Sonja?
Sadly, I think so too, and I think that Obama rushes in as the hero. I think it's all been orchestrated, it's political, and the sad thing about it is we destroy our own neighborhood. Not that we should destroy other people's neighborhoods, but we're destroying our own neighborhoods rather than using all of our time and energy to build up our neighborhoods. And then we have one blow up and it's gone.
Thank you very much. Join us tomorrow evening for our second segment where each of our wise men and women give a report card to Obama.